I'll just start right now. My name is Dr. Ibrahim Abu Talib, Associate Professor in the Department of Construction Engineering and Associate Chair at the American University in Cairo. And with me is Dr. Sharif Gubran, Assistant Professor and Director of the Architecture Graduate Program and the Sustainability Program. We have also Dr. Islam Mashali, all of us from the American University in Cairo. And we also have some members of the organizing committee of the Solar Decathlon. We all we all want to welcome you into this presentation. So this presentation will have the following agenda. If you could show us the agenda, Dr. Sharif. So this is just an introduction, and then we are going to get into the challenge divisions and the rules and the eligibility. And then at the end, we will have the Q&A session to answer any questions that you have. So if we start, Dr. Sharif, next slide. So what is the Solar Decathlon competition? It is a competition. It was originally initiated by the U.S. Department of Energy, and it took place in the U.S. for several years. And then they expanded to Africa and to Asia and to different countries. And in this year, we collaborated with them, so the American University in Cairo, and the U.S. Department of Energy, and the Egyptian Ministry of Higher Education, all collaborated to produce the Africa version of 2025 of the Solar Decathlon. Next. So the Solar Decathlon competition is a competition between students in universities. These students could be undergraduate students, graduate students, or PhD students even, where every team from a university competes to build a net zero building with 10 different competitions or 10 different criteria into considerations such as water consumption, energy consumption, life cycle, architecture, envelope, engineering, and many things that Dr. Sharif will share with you after 5 minutes. So, and we have different stages for this competition. And so it's a great chance actually for those who participate for these students to become the next generation of sustainability leader. This competition also strengthens the academia industry collaboration because each team could have their own industry partner, which is valid, totally fine. The competition also encourage innovation and entrepreneurship because many projects actually you find that stem from real problems in Africa. And also it's the competition definitely aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and this promotes also regional knowledge exchange because during the competition teams will mingle and will network, and we will see how everyone is doing, and we will collaborate and start new relationships, which is really one of the different essences of this competition. Next. So students actually have a great chance to experience how to design zero energy building, which is actually much difficult than people might think. They will collaborate with interdisciplinary teams. So to have a zero energy building, it's not just architecture. They have to collaborate with electrical, mechanical, construction, multiple entities and multiple specializations. So it's a great opportunity for them to engage with industry experts from multiple countries and learn through the leaders in the field, and in the future students will become the leaders. Dr. Sharif will go through the competition itself and the different divisions and the challenge rules.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ibrahim, for that introduction. And again, very excited to be welcoming everyone to our first information session. Hopefully, one of a few that we'll be holding in order to really engage and open up the floor for questions and answers for everyone who's interested in the competition. I'll quickly go through the challenge divisions, the challenge and the divisions, and the key focus before I leave the space for Dr. Islam to walk us through the 10 contests related to the competition itself. So again, the main goal, as Dr. Ibrahim iterated, is to make sure that we're focused on designing zero energy or close to zero energy buildings that address complex real-world issues related to carbon, energy justice, affordability, community resilience, not by designing systems or part of buildings, but rather by thinking of a whole building design. The design challenge specifically for our Africa iteration of it is we took the general idea of the solar decathlon, which is very prominent, of course, and has been running in the US and other regions, and tried to make it specific to Africa-related issues in order to really ask our participants to prepare and think of creative solutions that address these Africa-related or Africa-specific challenges related to zero energy building industry and practice. In terms of division, the competition allows for two key divisions, basically residential division and a commercial service division. In the residential division, you have the option to work on single family division or a single family category. These are houses, villas, riads, and other single family building designs that are rooted in the African heritage, or multi-family division, which is a multiple of dwellings within a single buildings. And then the second main branch is commercial and service. Of course, education is a separate subdivision there, specifically focused on preschool to K-12 and higher education institutions or higher education related buildings or continuing education, as well as commercial and community division, which is focused more on retail, office, hospitality, other real estate development or mixed use projects. There is in the rules and which are available, and we'll walk you through some resources and so on, some allowances for mixed use applications across the different divisions as well. But that's a little different maybe in its definition, or more restrictive than the mixed use project that's within the commercials and service division here. The key focus of the design is, of course, sustainability, net zero, close to net zero, a very big focus on energy efficiency, climate responsiveness, but also a keen focus on not generating generic design solutions, but rather solutions that are rooted in a specific geographic location and context that are able to address specific environmental challenges that are seen or experienced in the African continent. The second piece is, of course, affordability. Here we're talking about cost effectiveness, resource efficiency, scalability, and accessibility or ability of application of these design solutions across diverse communities with some modifications and so. And of course, the last and a very important piece is that question of community, is that the buildings or the design should be really striving to respond to real social needs, enhance the quality of life, and empower local engagement and local community members. I'll go quickly on eligibility criteria. So in general, there is three levels of eligibility, if we think about it this way. The first level is institutional eligibility. So for our 2025 edition of the Soul Decathlon Design Challenge Africa, we are opening this up for institutions. In order for the institution to be eligible to be part of the competition, it has to be based in the African continent. So these could be post-secondary higher education, community colleges, technical colleges, 4 to 5 year colleges and universities and graduate schools. So in general, any institution that's based, higher education institution or so, that's based in the African continent would be eligible to apply. In terms of teams, each team should have at least one faculty advisor engaged. That faculty advisor has to be affiliated to an eligible institution, and each institution cannot compete with more than 4 teams. So there has to be a little bit of an internal coordination to make sure that there isn't more than 4 teams per institution. However, there is also a possibility that multiple universities or institutions can join hands to combine and form one team. So that means that there could have more than one faculty advisor or one faculty advisor from one institution that can supervise students from multiple institutions in one country or more countries, as long as these institutions are based in the African continent. There is a potential for partnering with industry professionals to be an industry partner to the team. That and again, the details and the limits of that partnership are also very much detailed in the rules document. And there is also a possibility for engagement with non-government institutions or organizations. This would be the community partnership piece, where the team is responding to a specific need of a non-government organization within a location. And of course, interdisciplinarity is highly recommended. It's not a must, meaning that all students can be coming from fields related to engineering if they wish, architecture, construction, building sciences, and so on. But there isn't necessarily a rule against students joining in a team from a different background, like social science, humanities, or business, or otherwise. Or arts or whatever other disciplines that teams, as they form, think would be beneficial to really develop and create an engaging a design outcome. In terms of student eligibility, that's our last piece. Any team should be made at least of 3 students. So there's a minimum of 3 students plus a faculty advisor to form a team. Students who are eligible are any students who are pursuing a degree and enrolled during the competition. These could be undergraduates, master's students, PhD students, and the students, even if they're graduating in December 2025, they are still eligible to be part of the competition. But one student cannot participate in multiple teams. That's one of the key rules. In terms of stages, we're looking at a timeline that's a little bit stretched, or very generous in terms of time to develop solutions. So we launched in February, March, and now we're in May. We're still opening the space for registration all the way until the stage 1 submission, which is the project summary, where you're expected to submit a preliminary information about the project and gain preliminary feedback on compliance with the rules, division definition, submission formatting, and technical concepts. Before we move to a stage 2, this is the first juried competition piece, where and this is on November 15th, so 1 month after the project summary. And here we're expected to see deliverables that are more complete, that encapsulate the main ideas of the project and a preliminary design and so on, that will be juried by external juries, and it's a virtual event. And the teams will be able to present and demonstrate the potential of the project. They would show a substantial project development in comparison, of course, to the summary. and plan towards the final design competition. Also, at this point, the virtual semi-final competition would serve as a filtering for applicants or teams who have applied or registered to select the groups that would be moving on to the final competition, which is held at AUC in a hybrid format, allowing some flexibility to reduce footprints of travel, but also to ensure more accessibility from different locations across Africa. And of course, this is the final deliverables, and this is going to be juried, there's going to be awards for each division, so the residential and the commercial, and a grand jury award, which is a general award, in addition to other smaller awards or recognitions that would be offered for specific focuses within the projects, including as detailed in the rules. And of course, there's going to be awards and recognition for all teams who have participated and so on. I'll leave the space for Dr. Islam to take over from there to explain more about the 10 contests and what they entail.
Thank you, Dr. Sharif. As for the 10 contests, as we refine your proposal and your design, the judging panel will be assessing every aspect of your project against the 10 core criteria that we have. Thus, we call it Decathlon. That spans across the design quality, technical performance, and impact on the context that you have and on the real world impact. So these categories are mainly intended to make sure that it's not just about the architecture, it's also about the engineering and how you look at the community focused solutions and how to deliver net zero energy buildings in respect of the local context. So if we start with the first contest that we have is the architecture and contextual fit. So mainly your design has to respond to the site, making sure that you're embracing the local topology of that site, the materials, while making sure that you have, of course, an energy efficient and zero building forms. So judges will be looking at the clarity of the spatial organization of your projects, your sensitivity to community and identity and ecological preservation of the site and the whole context. Then we have the engineering contest. So here it will evaluate the clarity and performance of your structural, mechanical, and electrical and plumbing, the MEP systems, where you're gonna have to show that you demonstrate the calculations for those aspects, of course, and justifying your system choices and showcasing any innovative solutions that you have to address your local challenges in terms of engineering. Then the third one is the envelope, where we have to have an attention to four main aspects, which is the air tightness, thermal resistance, moisture control, and durability in your project, and make sure your enclosure strategy should minimize, of course, the heating and cooling loads throughout the different passive approaches that you're going to be using, insulation, for example, shading or thermal mass, and withstand future climate stresses and make sure that your building is as resilient as possible. Then we have the energy efficiency aspect, one of the important contests, of course, in this competition. So you have to substantiate how your whole building modeling and how your design achieves near net zero energy or net zero energy performance, while assessing the local utility and grid emissions, and we're going to be assessing according to local benchmarks, and how you have to show in this contest how you integrate if you have any smart controls or any renewable energy, and present realistic savings that would for more resilient projects, especially during outages, especially in developing countries and things like that. So how your building is resilient in terms of energy efficiency. Then we have the water performance contest. As we know, most of the countries here, we have water scarcity, and so this is an important context, anyways. So what are the innovative strategies of water harvesting, and if we have any rainfall in the context that you're doing the design, recycling water, efficiency in water fixtures. So we'll be judged here on the water management plan that you're going to provide, and how you analyze the different consumption patterns, and what technologies do you have for the long-term viability of your water performance. So next, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so the next 5 contests. So we have the constructability and the operability of your project. So it has to be a project that have straightforward assembly. We're going to be assessing the constructability of the project, whether it's feasible locally in the location that you're building for or you're designing for. Even though we're not going to be building the projects, it's just a design competition, and how you're going to provide a clear operation and maintenance plan for your project that considers the equipment availability, ease of repair, intuitive controls for end users and facility managers. Then this is the 6th one, which is constructability. We have the 7th contest, which is the life cycle and waste management. So here we're going to be, as a judge, is going to be assessing the reduction of emissions and waste across the building's full life cycle through the different methods and methodologies, such as prefabrication, for example, of project elements, recycled content, managing and sorting and composting on site, for example, of the different wastes that come from the project, and this would be the main assessment of the life cycle and waste management. Then we have the 8th contest, which is the health and well-being. So here we try to prioritize your occupant comfort and safety by the selection of different materials that are low in toxicity, designing for daylighting and natural ventilation, having fresh air and into the space and so on. And of course, also, if you like, this is part of the indoor environmental quality, also the any acoustic measures that you take on your for your project in order to ensure the health and well-being of your occupants, of course. Then the last but not least, which is the community impact, where you demonstrate how your project fosters equality, equity, and social equity and resilience in the project, and measures how well the building meets the local community needs and for that project. So those are the 10 contests. They're equally assessed by the judges throughout the whole, of course, the 3 different stages of the competition. Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Islam, for going through those 10. I know 10 sounds like a little bit intimidating sometimes, but keeping with the tradition of a decathlon, of course, they have to be 10. And if some of you are familiar with the 10 contests of the Soul Decathlon competition in general, you would realize that some of them are either mixed together or some new categories started to emerge that would really, start to reflect a little bit the focus or the Africa focus that we're trying to bring into the this iteration of the competition. Before we go into the question and answer, just for a moment, I would like to bring back here the important dates and deadline timeline. So as we quickly recap previously, we started out registration in mid-Feb. With our first information session that was scheduled today, and based on the different, the level of questions and interest and emails that we get, we might be putting more of these information sessions in place in the near future. Registration closes on the 15th of October with the submission of the project summary and the deadline for the registration for that. The competition, the semi-final competition, is on November 15th, with the submission deadline of the semi-final in early November, to allow judges and reviewers to review the work meanwhile. And then on the 17th of Feb, you have the deadline for the final design project submission and the final competition in-person event at AUC, and hybrid modality allowed on the 25th and 26th of March 2026. With that, I'll go back to the Q&A to open up the floor for all of you to share your questions. I'd like maybe to suggest for whoever has a question to react with a hands up, exactly, and we'll be working through the questions one by one. Alternatively, you might also want to share your question in the chat, and we will get to the question there as well.
Meanwhile, I think Dr. Sharif, shall we do the poll meanwhile?
Yes, I think we can launch the poll in the background. Dr. Ibrahim will share with you a poll for some questions, general questions, to also respond to, that would help us in the next steps. Dr. Mohammed Darwish, I believe your hand is up first. So
yes. Thank you, Dr. Sharif. Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim.
Please go
Dr.
ahead.
Islam. Thank you all. Can you hear me well? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well.
Thank you for taking this initiative. My question, or actually I have several questions. First, can I be an advisor for more than one team? Second question is, how is there a certain number of advisors per team? Third question is, I found that we can collaborate, with other universities. So in such a case, is that in terms of having multi-advisors from different universities, or different students from different universities? So
okay,
those are my three questions.
I can start with the Dr. Rahim, Dr. Islam, feel free as well to jump in onto any of the questions. So the first question was the advisors, on whether they can advise multiple teams. Yes, I think there isn't necessarily in the rules something that would say that you would not be able to advise multiple teams. However, it's a big job. So as faculty advisors, with the complexity of designing a zero or near zero energy building, it's a difficult job. So especially that the timeline, from October to March seems like a good timeline, but at the same time there's a lot of requirements and developments and so on. So while it is possible, you should also put in consideration the time allocation that it would be required to advise the teams. In terms of multiple collaborations across different institutions, that would allow multiple advisors to join from different institutions, as well as multiple students from different institutions, meaning that it opens up the floor for both advisors and students to be from different institutions. There isn't also necessarily anything in the rules that stops, for example, an advisor from one institution to supervise students in a different institution. Okay. In terms of number of advisors, we recommend the requirement is minimum of one. Just like for those of us who've gone through the process of masters, PhDs, and all that, having multiple advisors is always a good idea, because you get different perspectives and everything. But also having too many advisors sometimes is too challenging for the teams.
My question has a reason, because I'm in construction engineering and structural engineering mainly. But of course, if I work with a team, I must have somebody from architecture. I mean,
Of course.
in such a case, I mean, here we are talking about it's not the issue of how many advisors, it's also the different specializations of advisors. We need, according to the criteria you have shown, we need at least 2 or 3 specializations per team in terms of advisors. This is why I asked this question mainly.
Of course, but there is also opportunity for the teams to have industry partnership
Okay.
to cover some advisory requirements.
Okay.
And there isn't that, yeah. I mean, for the formality of the registration, there should be at least one advisor, but there isn't anything that would recommend against students or teams, including their advisors, to collaborate and get feedback from multiple advisors, even if they're not necessarily fully listed. Of course, having them fully listed would also allow them to be recognized and all of that, but it depends as well on the level of engagement of the different advisors that you wish to have for your team.
Of course, of course. Thank you so much.
No worries. Dr. Riham?
Yes, hello everyone. I have several questions too. First one concerning the registration. Is the registration we have to pay fees or it is free? This is question number one. Question number two concerning the first submission, which will be in October. It's just putting the concept and describing the project, and as I understand, what we are going to make the building sustainable or zero energy, but not drawings. It will not be drawings. And then in November, as I understand also, in November it will be discussing the drawings with the presentation. Is that right? This is my two questions.
Yes, your understanding is right.
Okay. So
there is no
Yeah,
fees.
So
There's absolutely no fees for registration.
yes.
This is, of course, organized by the American University in Cairo with the support of the and in collaboration with the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ministry of Higher Education, and there's certainly no fees associated at all with the registration to the competition.
Okay.
So that's to answer your first question. In terms of the requirements for the first submission, it's mainly the project summary, the idea of the project. And if you would allow me quickly, I'll be sharing with you here the challenge rules. So this is our website, SDDC Africa 2025, and we'll provide you with QR codes in a moment. Actually, we could share with you these codes right here. So if you scan these codes, you'll find the first one is the challenge rules.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I go back to the challenge rules over here,
it has all the
moving
details,
to the
submission and everything.
requirements to
Exactly.
the submission.
We still see the QR codes, Dr. Sharif.
Still loading on my side, unfortunately.
Okay. So
Dr.
the rules,
Ibrahim, if you, it looks like my office internet is a little slow. If you do have access to the rules to load, that would be useful.
okay, let me download them as well.
I already have them open if you want me to share my screen.
Okay. All right, I have them as well.
Okay, then you can share directly. I'll stop my share on my side.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So you wanted to show us the evaluation.
The initial submission.
Okay, so the evaluation process, and here in the evaluation process we have the first submission, which is
No, the deliverable, that would be page 39.
39. Okay, so it's the deliverables. Okay.
Next chapter.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, this is it.
Yeah. So yeah. So the main requirement for Dr. Rehan for the initial submission is a
Yes.
project summary written, project summary. That lists mainly the project name, the team name, the division, and the institution, the building, an imagination of the building image of some sort. So it's not really a drawing. The relevance of the project to the goals of the competition, description of the project, including identification of the target market, a summary of the design strategy, relevant key points, project data, some cost estimates, and some technical specifications, so building materials, systems. So an initial idea, putting together how the project responds to the competition per se. And then if we move to the next page, page 40, the last point is just a brief explanation, basically a response to each of the 10 contests. So it's just a written response to the 10 contests of the competition, how you plan to address them accordingly in that sense.
Okay. And then after, and in November, after filtration, you will give us a decision if we are going to continue till March or not. Is that right?
Exactly. So once you register, you will get feedback, but you will be expected to continue through, hopefully, to the semi-final, to submit a semi-final competition, which of course would require the drawings and all that.
Yes.
Once the semi-final, basically it's juried, so the project is reviewed prior to the jury event itself, and then during the jury, after the jury, the winners or pre-selected or kind of filtered teams would be announced, who would be continuing.
Okay.
For even teams who are not selected, to decide to continue through and develop their project in the form of a exhibition project. So it would not be juried, it would not be part of the, it can't win the the competition per se, but it would be exhibited at
in the final event.
Exactly, in the final event in person on campus at AUC, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
We have a question in the chat. Does the project take place in a specific location? Thank you, Dr. Rehan. Does it take place in a specific location? No, there isn't a location that's preset. That means that the decision of the location is left to the teams based on their interest of the scope of the work that they want to do. So it could be located in the location where the institution is located, for example, for familiarity with context, or the team can decide to locate it in a completely different country in Africa, or in a completely different location in Africa, or in a different region within the same country or so, to allow for addressing a specific social, cultural, environmental issue or challenge, in a sense.
But in general, it has to be located in Africa.
Yes, hopefully. We hope.
Another question from Dr. Rehan.
We also have a question about the teams, the maximum number of
The maximum number of members for each group.
Yeah, so there isn't a maximum number of team members as per the rules. There is a minimum of 3. However, like any teamwork, you know, the number of people is not always indicative of you know, the ease of the task per se. So I think the idea by not creating a limitation is to allow students to group each other in ways that, you know, works with how they usually work and prefer to work and so on, but and not to be restrictive. But of course, as faculty advisors, maybe we have a role as well to make sure that the team remains coherent and that the team remains within you know, bounds of you know, expectations and so on. However, there is a maximum number, I believe it's 7 students who would be allowed to present, to be physically present at the final event, and a maximum of 5 who can present.
For the question about
in terms of areas,
yes. Okay. You can go.
Dr. Islam, do you have those
Yeah,
handy?
I already have them open. Yeah, so for the areas, it depends on the building typology or the divisions. It's all shown, of course, in the rules. So in page 12, let me just share it again here. So for residential, this is the single family housing, it has to be from 75 to 400 meters square. This is the with a maximum of 1 or 2, maximum of 2 dwelling units. If you want to do a twin house or something like that, so this is the maximum. So the maximum area is 400, and the minimum is 75. As for multifamily buildings, which is a dwelling with more than 3, which is like a unit or a building with more than 3 to up to 14 dwelling units, it has to be that each dwelling should be between 40 to 250 meters square. So this is the number for each dwelling unit, for each unit. With an option of mixed use, like if we want to have a commercial or a community space at this building, so it shouldn't take more than 25% of the floor area, of course. As for the educational, we didn't specify a specific number, but we have specifications for what to include. Or what you might want to include. So this doesn't really have an area. So we're talking about a school with different functionalities such as labs, libraries. You want to add a performance hall or something like that. So we're talking about a school project or a university building or something like that. And for the commercial one, we have a minimum of 200 meters square. And we allow for mixed use capabilities or mixed use functions up to 50% of the floor area. And if you want to include a residential part, it shouldn't be more than 25% of the area. So those rules are, or this part of the rule is between page 12 and page.
Yeah, thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
We're still open for questions. Feel free to.
Yeah, I also want to remind attendees to just complete the poll if possible. We only have 9 who did the poll, so if you have it, please.
Yeah, the questions there would be very useful for us to really, you know, improve the way that we reach out and to share information. So that would be really useful. We have a question from in the chat regarding the ability to publish from the application. Certainly, this is highly encouraged. Of course, you know, this is a competition, like many architectural competitions, the ownership of the ideas remain with those who develop it. So if there is specific innovations in systems or designs that the team has worked on in collaboration with faculty advisors, in collaboration with industry partners, in collaboration with the whole process, that would be, of course, great if there is academic outputs that could be generated from that. The expectation, however, is given that the work is juried by jurors across, the project proposal level, the semi-final level, and the final competition. Hopefully, the idea would be as well to maybe indicate in the acknowledgement an acknowledgement piece related to maybe how some of this jurying or review has helped improve the idea, if that is applicable. I'm seeing as well some people who indicated in Q&A their interest to share, for example, their emails directly with us or so, to keep info, to be up to date with the competition data. So feel free as well to share with us the email, of course, on the website as well. If you allow me to reshare here the website. Second. So you see here on our website. So the website is in the chat. Thank you, Dr. Islam, for sharing the links directly in the chat. And on the website, you see, of course, the challenge rules, which take you to the page that downloads the most current rules, which is V2, and a button that takes you to the registration. Of course, in the registration phase, in addition to the project summary, the expectation as well is for teams to fill a registration page or form in an Excel format that includes the details of the students, the advisors, any partnerships, and if there are specific companies or experts. And also the expectation is to upload a signed letter, just indicating, the willingness of the advisor to advise the team and so on, as a formal step of recognizing, the institutional, engagement with the competition. And to email us directly, you'll find our email here, Solar Decathlon Design Challenge Africa /2025@aucegypt.edu. And there's also an option for you to join our mailing list to directly add your email. Thank you for those who shared your emails in the chat as well. We continue to remain open for questions. Yeah, so thank you. We have another question related to the requirement of attending the competition physically. We highly encourage, of course, if there is a possibility for teams to attend physically, but we do understand the difficulty related to travel, and also the environmental impact that comes with such travel. So we are allowing the option for teams to engage in a hybrid format. If that's the requirement or the need, it would be good to email us about that as we move to from the semifinal. So for teams who, in all cases, the semifinal is virtual, so there's no need for movement or transit to attend. Once the results are out and there is a need that's stemming either from logistical difficulty, financial difficulty in moving the team across the continent, or in sometimes time difficulties as well. Sometimes, schedules of different institutions do not always very much align in a sense or another. So the timing in March might overlap with some timing related to exams, events, or anything other than that happening on specific campuses. And if that would not allow the students to move during this time, we would be able to accommodate such requests in a sense. Of course, that being said, we still, very much look forward to have the teams, join us at AUC for the physical, presence, the networking, the engagement. This event is also happening during our International Day on campus, so it will be a great, opportunity for the students across the continent to meet and engage with an international audience, of course, of industry experts who are part of our event, but also speakers and students from across the globe who are part of the AUC celebration of International Day accordingly, of course. We're still happy to take any further questions as needed. If you prefer to share through the chat, go ahead. If you prefer to ask it directly, also you're attending here today, we're sharing with you further resources and all that. If you want to take the time to review the resources as needed, get back to us with questions via email. That's also very much appreciated in a sense. So again, on the website, you see clearly the timeline, the expectation. You see more details about the challenge. You get access to the challenge rules. And of course, you have our email here at the footer of the email to send us questions directly, or if simply you want to be informed about the progress of the competition and the news and so on, you can join our mailing list. Of course, we also have social media outlets.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Ibrahim, please.
I was just going to say the social media, so go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So we have social media outlets that's also available. We have Instagram and Facebook. I know that these platforms might be more appealing sometimes than websites, emails to some of our younger student audience, of course. So those are available. We keep them updated, and you'll be able to also keep, get to know everything that's happening about the competition through those. And I think in the next weeks, as following, our information session today, we expect that more and more content related to the rules, related to the experience, to the expectations, and so on, are here. Of course, I can share with you here the Instagram, and so this will be Instagram and Facebook. So this is our Instagram, and this would be our Facebook page. Of course, you need to be logged into Facebook to see the Facebook page, but so any questions regarding the registration process, the expectations, and so on? Of course, we'll be working in the next weeks to share further information about the prizes, about the details of that, and also if there's any updates regarding logistics, travel, and so on, we'll be posting those on Instagram, Facebook, on the website, and also if you're joining our mailing list, we'll be able to share with you news regarding that as we work towards further towards the competition timing. And if you have specific questions that links to your specific institution, also feel free to share it via email, and we'll be happy to address any of these, specific or unique questions or situations regarding either eligibility of a different institution to pair with or to work with, and things like that. Okay. Dr. Islam, do you have any further comments, maybe ideas that you would like to share with our attendees today?
Not really at the moment, no. I think we've covered most of the important topics. I would encourage, of course, that you read the whole rules. It seems intimidating, like 50 pages, but trust me, some of the pages are just a few words. So I definitely go throughout the rules, and if you have any questions regarding that, please send us an email, and we can clarify furthermore.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Islam. I think I would the only comment again I would jump on to add to what you just said here, Dr. Islam, is this notion that, like, I really encourage all of us, I see maybe some of us around the room today as potential faculty advisors, faculty in different institutions and so on. This is really a wonderful opportunity for students to engage in a complex project, but also to engage with a very big number of attendees from different locations, to work together and to share ideas and to make connections across the continent. But also, if your institution is interested in the idea of working on a solar decathlon, the large solar decathlon, the construction project decathlon, not just the design challenge, I think the design challenge becomes really a very good opportunity to test out the ideas for a design prior to committing to a larger project such as a solar decathlon construction project, in that sense, because of course in the design challenge there is really no expectation for a construction to happen, and therefore the design challenge really becomes a test bed for some of these ideas, and I highly encourage you to consider it as such. Okay, I'm seeing relatively a quiet chat, and I'm not able to locate any hands that are necessarily raised. So I think we'd be able to, in many cases, give you back another 30 minutes in your day. So hopefully that would be, a positive thing. And of course, we await your questions and your communication on email, and we have a whole team, some of them are attending with us today in the session, and I say this with a lot of enthusiasm and trust, that your questions will be handled with much care and with a lot of speed, as much as we can, to ensure that you have all the information you need to encourage your students, and if you are a student yourself, to be encouraged to apply, to put together a team, and to join us. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.